After 7 consecutive weeks of bull run, does it look like gold is about to retrace? Does it look like the bears, the sellers, supply is about to resume for the precious yellow metal? Hello there and welcome back to the Pips O'Clock weekly market analysis. And this week, beginning 17th to 17th of February, we are going to focus on gold, GBPUSD, and EURUSD. And we are starting with gold. Now, if you are seeing the weekly chart for gold, you see here that gold recorded another new high for the entire history of the precious yellow metal. Okay, so gold hit a new high of 2,942.76 in the past week, but it also closed with a signal that could actually be a warning that the bears may be coming in, or that the bullish or the bull run is about to retrace for a moment. We don't know for how long that will be, but from what we're seeing here, this looks like a shooting star. And what happens here now, of course, this week now, if by the time you will go switch over to 4 hours, you'll be able to see it more clearly. And of course, we'll bring in a few other indicators together to actually know what to expect from gold this week. So let me quickly switch to 4 hours. Now on 4 hours, you see here that gold actually having recorded a new high here within the week. Of course, it pulled back and then attempted that new high. Now look at the point here. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to connect this. You see here that this high, there was an attempt to repeat it, to beat it, if it wasn't a fluke. But then what happened here appeared to say, well, this could be a fluke, because if you look at this was like a shooting star here on 4 hours, and then price attempted to beat this high again, but then it was unable to. So that resulted into, you can see that the volume started dropping, all the way through. But then at the end of the day, we saw a bearish engulfing pattern followed by a bearish continuation, and then another one here. Okay, though this looks like a hammer, but this may not be strong enough because the volume here isn't much. So, but what we're going to be expecting this week is, we'll watch out for rather for what will happen, how we go open, how we go react to this action, price action around here. All right, so that's very important. You need to pay attention to it while you remain bullish, but pay attention to this signal here, because at this point we could see that distribution may soon resume around here, around this price level. So be careful, because all these things are signs now that distribution may begin anytime soon. All right, within the coming week, this week now. So watch out for it. Okay, so I'm going to just give you some key levels to watch from our analysis on the NForex floor pivot points. So let's quickly head over there. And here we have gold. So you can see gold. Now let's look at this. The weekly pivot point is 2894.02. And where we have it here now, this is 2882.99. 2882.99 is below the weekly pivot point. So if price resumes or opens at the current level, it's an indication of a bearish bias. So please take note of that. So you want to also watch out for price heading down to 2848. Of course, at this point now, the sell may be temporarily halted, and then it will come to test this level again. Before, if it fails, it might head down to 2807. But then on the upside, if price breaks 2894 level, the pivot points, of course, watch out again for price to get back to see if it could retest the high of last week, which was the all-time high of 2942. Okay, but then before it could get to do that, it will have to deal with the resistance at 2931.73. So if it's able to break this, then it will head on to go and test the peak level, the peak price for gold, all-time peak price for gold at 2942. So if it then breaks that, then we may now begin to look forward to gold reaching a newer high of 2980. But without trying to predict the markets, I don't think this may be achieved this week. That is 2980. So let's watch out for what happens, okay? And based on that, let me quickly come to 4 hours time frame here, switch over to gold. And let's see, looking at the three moving averages of 200, period, 50, and 21, price has already broken down below the 50 and 21 moving averages. All right, so we might expect price to dangle around here, of course, try to reach back up here, and then coming down again, we might now see it adjust. Of course, it could get all to 2800, maybe, or even below there. Or but then if you're on 1 hour, let's quickly look at on 1 hour. On 1 hour already, it's already operating below the 200 period moving average. But then the RSI is telling us it's already below the 30 level. Okay, so but then I want us to keep an open mind, particularly working with the higher time frame. So we will watch out, and of course, you buying wouldn't be out of place, but don't stay long on the long positions. That's the best I can tell you. So let's switch on over to okay, let me bring in the Fibonacci and see whether we can find confluence level. So we'll quickly draw it from here. This is the highest. This is the highest here. And we will run it. Let's use this. This week will be too close. So it's already defeated. If you look at that. So let's work with here. Let's see. Okay, let's work with here. So at this point, yes, based on 1, 2, 3 weeks ago. So if you use the rise from 2730, so obviously we are going to be looking at 50% retracement at 2836.64 and then 2811. So I've got anywhere up to between 3.6% retracement will do as you look for opportunities to buy. Okay. All right. So take note of that. But then for now, if we want to do the reverse, let's do the reverse of that. Of course, on the reverse, it's pretty difficult at this time to do that, except you want to just risk it and say, okay, let's do it here. And of course, price retracing up to 2906.93 rather, around that level. So if you check that and come back here, 2903, so that will be close to the weekly pivot point. So, and if you base it on that, if you base your decision on that, then obviously you want to wait for a sell at 2906.93, and of course targeting somewhere here 2840. Yeah. All right, so let's switch over to the next instrument, which is GBPUSD. So let's head on and check on GBPUSD. So on the weekly time frame for GBPUSD, we see a bullish continuation pattern. All right, having experienced this inverted hammer here, you know the game played out there. Now also consider the fact that after the Trump inauguration, all the assets that were pro-Trump, that were bullish after the Trump election in November 2024, from after the inauguration, a lot of them began to weaken. For example, the US dollar index has not really been performing well. S&P 500 has not been performing well. If you check it here, look at it here, it's not been doing so well, even though it's still trying to. Okay, it's trying to maintain momentum, but if you look at this past week, it doesn't have much volume. If you look at that, you see that. So based on that, you see that GBPUSD, EURUSD are trying to pick up, and with this, we are going to be seeing most likely a bullish continuation for this new week. So based on that, let's quickly look at the pivot points for GBPUSD first. So I have it here already plotted. So you have the floor pivot points. The central pivot is at 1.2515. 1.2515 is below the close price. So obviously there's a likelihood if price opens anywhere around where it closed, then we'll have a bullish bias for GBPUSD. That's just technically what this is about. And of course, if that happens, you would then expect price to head on to go test the resistance at 2697. 2697 is somewhere around here. above the, of course, it will, that means it will make a new high. All right, it will make a new high for the month. Okay, so if that happens, so then, but if it breaks below the pivot point, of course, you have the support at 2399 or 2400, any one of those levels, which is somewhere around here, okay. All right, so then let's quickly head on and check if we can plot the Fibonacci for this. Now, with what we have here, there's a shooting star here on 4 hours, followed by a bearish engulfing, and so we will witness most likely a GBPUSD that will retrace down. So it's bullish. So I'm going to plot bullish Fibo, and I will use from here. Yes. Okay. So based on this, now we might likely see a. There are two scenarios I'm going to use here now. I'll use the low of last week, all right, and then this of that of the 2 weeks ago. So if we use this of that of 2 weeks ago, we are looking at 50% retracement at 24396 as entry. So watch out for price action at 24396, and the second scenario will be here. Second scenario will be somewhere here. If you look at this here, okay, so we'll also be looking at 24813. 24813, and if you look at the support here, 24813, 24813, well, this is the power point here, is almost close to it. It's almost close to it. All right, so you want to watch out for this. But then this first support, 2399, and the first scenario here for Fibo, this first scenario, which is 2439. Okay, 2439. Okay, we have 2439 and we have 24813. Sorry, 2439 and 24813. So 24813, yes, is close to the weekly pivot point. All right, so I think that we will just, what we will focus on this. And so I'm going to advise, watch out for price action around 24813, because that's near a confluence with the floor pivot point for the week. All right, so and then for EURUSD, we are going to also be looking at, we see here a bullish continuation also, almost a similar pattern to GBPUSD. So, and for the floor pivot point for EURUSD, you have the weekly pivot point at 1.0427. 1.0427 is also below the close of the week. So if price opens close to where it closed, then we'll also be having a bullish bias for EURUSD. So on 4 hours for EURUSD, what do we have there? We have a bearish engulfing pattern. Of course, if this is respected as a market regime, then we might see price retreat coming down before it finds a price action that will tell it it's time to resume the upward trend. So I'm going to also, let me do Fibo from here using the low of the just concluded week. Okay, so we'll just use this scenario and then let's see what it gives us first. Okay, where we'll be having, there's a confluence here with the 21 period moving average, and around there you have 1.03956. 1.03956. Now look at this, 03956, and then you have 0427, and then first support level is 0340. So the gap is up almost 50 pips apart for the first support level, and for the pivot point is about that's about 67 or there, about 67 pips. If you look at this 3956, so 3956, that's like call it 04. All right, about 27 to 30 pips. Yeah, about 30 pips thereabouts. Okay, so that's what that is. But the second scenario, let's play it out, because you never can tell what could happen here. Okay, because on the fundamental side of things, there will be rate decision by Australia. Yes, RBA will be releasing the rates. Of course, we'll talk about that in the news review, and also there'll be the governor, the Bank of England governor Andrew Bailey will also be in a panel discussion. So he'll be speaking this week too. So these are things that could also help to tune up the markets, right? President Trump will also be testifying along or speaking on Fox TV alongside Elon Musk. So all of these may, help to fuel the market this week. So they really give the market momentum. So based on this now, so we have 50% at 1.033 595, forming a confluence with the monthly pivot point, and that's also where you have the 50 period moving average. So if anything, if this is anything to go by, if you look at if this bearish engulfing of 4 hours is anything to go by, then you'll be watching out for price to really get all the way here and find support that will actually give you that momentum to buy Euro USD, and that could push it to go and make a new high if it doesn't make the new high before coming down in any case. So let's just watch out for these levels and see how we can trade to win. From all of us at the Pips O'Clock team here, want to wish you a very, very fantastically profitable trading week. Thank you and God bless you.